this week's Oban Times with me, Finn Nixon.
And me, Kathy Griffiths.
We have lots of interesting news and photographs for you this week in our newspaper and on our website. And remember that here at the Oban Times, we are always happy to hear your stories and see your photographs as well. You can call us on 01631 568 000, email editor@obantimes.co.uk, or message us on Facebook, Instagram or Twitter. But what stories have we been researching and writing about this week? Kathy, what have you been finding out?
Well, be warned and be aware if you're going to be parking up in Argyll Bute. There could be a parking ticket increase on the way. If you overstay, you're welcome. The current fine of £60 or £30 if paid within 14 days has been in force for 22 years. But if changes are approved at a full council meeting this week, it could see those prices rise up to £100 or £50 for early payment. So there you go. You heard it here first. Now remember those grand plans to give Gibraltar Street in Oban a bit of a facelift? Well, of course, in the end, they got too costly, so they were scrapped. But we've actually found out how much all of that planning cost, and it came up to £27,709.50, and out of that £21,550 was paid to the architects. Of course, the new plan that's on its way now is just to resurface it, top quality resurfacing of course, and bring in better lighting and upgrade that street furniture, so that's bins and signposts and that kind of thing. So there we go. Over in Dalmally, we've been hearing from a campaign called No More Pylons that they're wanting witnesses to come forward to speak up at a local public inquiry that's happening in June. There's going to be a rallying community meeting this Saturday, that's April the 29th, in Dalmally Community Centre from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock for anyone to go along and hear how preparations for that public inquiry are going. Of course, they also launched a Just Giving appeal. They're trying to raise £20,000 to help pay legal expenses for this public inquiry. So we'll have more of an update on that next week as well. And a lovely story here. I'm sure you've all been out and about and you've been seeing those gorgeous lambs springing around, full of the joys of spring. Well, Islay sheep farmers Rachel and Alasdair Whyte were really full of the joys of spring because they have just celebrated the rare arrival of quintuplet lambs. Now that is really rare. I've heard it could actually be 1 in a million, although Rachel thinks it's a little bit more common than that, but they were absolutely cock-a-hoop. The couple have had Glenmachrie Farm since 1979. They thought they were going to get triplets, so when the fourth one arrived, they were cock-a-hoop, and when the fifth one came, they were just beyond themselves, absolutely over the moon. So we've got a lovely picture of them and of the lambs for you to look at and enjoy.
Thanks for that, Kathy. I look forward to reading all of those stories and looking out for those springy lambs. West Coast businesses have been expressing their relief after it was announced by the First Minister that Scotland's controversial deposit return scheme will be delayed from August until March next year. We have the reaction from business owners and some MSPs to this development. We have some good ferry news as well, as the MV Alfred arrives on the west coast to begin her role as a relief vessel for Calmac, while a public vote is also underway to find names for 2 of the new ferries which will serve Islay. Park School has also been celebrating its 50th anniversary with a special photograph of the Oban School from the air. It's well worth looking out for in this week's newspaper and online. Argyll Bute Council have joined opposition to the Scottish Government's fishing ban proposed for 10% of Scottish waters. The leader of the council, Robin Curry, says the council believes it will have detrimental effects on our blue economy, which our communities rely on. In other news, funding cuts to men's shed organisations have been reversed, and Argyll and Bute SNP MSP, Jenny Minto, has welcomed new plans to allow councils to double the council tax paid on empty and second homes. In the sport, we have the in-depth update from all of the latest shinty action. We also look back at Oban women's win over Strathmore a couple of weeks ago, the National Plate competition. The final will be held in Edinburgh on Saturday, May the 6th, and tickets are available to purchase on the Scottish Rugby website. Young players from across Argyll and Lochaber also put in some great performances at the Oban Dalrada, and we have roundups from Craignure and Seal golf courses. This as well as the Gaelic School Football Fives and a stunning performance from Oban golfing ace Bob McIntyre in Japan. Don't forget you can read all these stories and more at www.obantimes.co.uk or by picking up a newspaper in local shops and garages. And don't forget, if you have a story, get in touch. You can call us on 01 631 568 000, email editor@obantimes.co.uk or message us on one of our social media platforms. For now though, thank you for listening, and it's goodbye from me, Finn Dixon.
And goodbye from me, Kathy Griffiths.
Bye.
Bye.